On the morning of September 11, 2001, 4 commercial aircraft were turned into weapons. Nearly 3,000 people died in the resulting collapse, and the scale of that destruction instantly triggered a global manhunt. Within weeks, the Bush administration launched Operation Enduring Freedom. U.S. forces invaded Afghanistan, rapidly dismantled the Taliban government, and destroyed the known al-Qaeda training camps operating within its borders. The central target of that invasion was the architect of the attacks, Osama bin Laden. Almost overnight, the son of a billionaire construction magnate became the most hunted fugitive in human history. The United States deployed the most powerful military force on Earth to find him. But a conventional military presence offers little advantage when you have no idea where your target is actually standing. In late 2001, intelligence officers tracked his voice on radio intercepts to Tora Bora, a treacherous cave complex in eastern Afghanistan. But military leaders decided to rely on local Afghan militias to close the perimeter instead of using U.S. ground troops. He slipped through the lines. Intelligence agencies believed he escaped into the federally administered tribal areas, a lawless, mountainous region along the Pakistan border. From there, he released periodic audio and videotapes to prove he was still alive. Soon, the trail went entirely cold. Without confirmed sightings or reliable informants, the CIA shut down its dedicated bin Laden unit in 2005. A multi-trillion-dollar military intelligence apparatus was blind. One man had isolated himself in a geographical vacuum, rendering the world's most advanced satellite surveillance ineffective. Since tracking the primary target directly had failed, the intelligence strategy shifted. Agencies began hunting the shadow network of people he relied on to survive. After 9/11, the CIA captured several senior al-Qaeda operatives, including Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the mastermind behind the attacks. During interrogations, multiple high-level detainees mentioned the same pseudonym, Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti. They admitted he was a courier, but they all insisted he was unimportant. In intelligence tradecraft, coordinated dismissals from highly trained operatives often signal a target's value. If multiple captives are lying to protect a single courier, that courier is the priority. By attempting to deflect attention, the detainees provided the first operational lead in years. It took years to pull on that thread. It wasn't until 2007 that analysts finally uncovered the courier's real name, Ibrahim Saeed Ahmed. 3 years later, in 2010, the National Security Agency intercepted a live phone call made by Ahmed. They tracked the signal from a broad regional ping, narrowing it to a precise origin in Abbottabad, 35 miles from the Pakistani capital. In August 2010, a CIA satellite scanning those coordinates revealed a massive, highly secured footprint sitting in a residential neighborhood. A single lapse in digital security by a subordinate had compromised a decade of physical evasion by his commander. The compound was built for absolute secrecy. It was surrounded by 12-foot walls topped with barbed wire. It had no internet or phone lines, and residents burned their own trash rather than reaving it for collection. Satellite imagery identified a tall man who walked the courtyard daily, whom analysts dubbed the Pacer. Because they could never secure a positive facial ID from above, they had to rely on behavioral profiling and the compound's extreme security measures. When they briefed President Obama, the intelligence community was divided. Based on the circumstantial evidence, analysts offered a wide confidence range, estimating anywhere from a 60 to 95% chance that bin Laden was inside. The president had to weigh a massive risk. Launching a covert strike deep inside a sovereign nation could cause international fallout, forcing him to authorize it based on probabilities, not hard proof. On May 1, 2011, he gave the order. 24 Navy SEALs from DevGru boarded 2 modified Black Hawk helicopters and flew for 90 minutes, hugging the terrain to slip through Pakistani airspace undetected. As they arrived over the Abbottabad compound at 1 a.m., one of the helicopters suffered a mechanical failure and crash-landed inside the walls. The pilots stayed calm, and the SEALs immediately moved to a ground assault. They breached the outer walls and moved through the first floor, clearing each room before pushing up the stairs to the 3rd floor. There, they encountered a tall, bearded man. He was unarmed, and he was shot twice. At 1:08 a.m., the assault team transmitted a secure code to the White House, Geronimo, EKI. Enemy killed in action. A global manhunt that consumed 10 years of American intelligence gathering was resolved in 38 minutes of surgical, boots-on-the-ground execution. Within hours, DNA testing against family samples and facial recognition software confirmed the body's identity. To prevent his grave from becoming a shrine for extremists, he was buried at sea within 24 hours. While global terrorism continued, the organization lost its founder and central point of authority. This created a lasting fracture in al-Qaeda's hierarchy, removing the operational link between its various regional cells. The decade of pursuit cost trillions of dollars and thousands of lives. The final discovery relied on the persistence of analysts tracking one voice on a single telephone line. In modern asymmetric warfare, overwhelming force has limits. Ultimate victory requires the painstaking patience to follow a single breadcrumb to its source.